I'm Chloe. I live in Windia Court in Watson. I moved in February of 2012. Lily was almost 2 years old, and I moved in because I didn't have anywhere to go. I was on a housing waiting list to get a emergency accommodation, and this was what they offered me, and it was either that or couch surf and sleep in cars and stay in women's refuges with a child, and I wasn't okay with that, so we accepted the house.
My name is Trann Davis. I've lived here in Watson for 10 years, and I moved to Watson because I split up my partner at the time and had nowhere else to go, so I moved in with my mate Pete.
How often does something happen, and how does it impact your life?
Depends on what you want to describe as something happening. There's small things happening all the time, like junkies shooting up behind the bins or in the stairwell, or there's big things happening on the odd occasion, like old mate getting shot and old mate getting kicked down the stairs, and on a weekly basis there's always something happening. Always a bit of something to giggle at, get involved with. How does it impact my life? Days it's pretty bad, depends on what sort of head frame I'm in. Like the instances with Daniel, I enjoyed that. I've become half decent mates with Mumble after kicking him down the stairs and thinking I killed him. Good dude now, says hello to me, tells me he loves me. Can't understand him after on because obviously his name's Mumbles, but so it impacts my life good and bad in a few different ways.
My emotions want to say daily something happens, because it feels like that. It feels like every second of every day there is something going on. Reality-wise, it's probably every 2 or 3 days some semi-major to major incident occurs, whether it's people over at the shops who are begging for money causing issues with the patrons who are coming out, or somebody fighting with the bus driver because they haven't been let on because they haven't got fare, or somebody starting a fight somewhere else because their drug deal's gone wrong, like somebody overdosing, they've dropped out the front and now there's ambulances everywhere, somebody having a domestic dispute. Like, it feels like a lot, but yeah, probably once every 2 to 3 days something like that happens. Like I said, my emotions want to say it happens every second of every day, so that's how it affects me, is that I'm constantly aware of the possibility that something is going to happen, and that gives me an edge of paranoia about the place that I live in, and it doesn't feel quite comfortable.
What's been the most impactful thing that's happened?
My partner at the time, Sarah, she OD'd. I had to break into the apartment and find her. That was a pretty shit day. But on the flip side of that, the best thing that has happened is getting with someone that I've known that lived here for quite a few years as well. And the surprise relationship that I got out of it with her and her daughter, that's the best thing by far that's happened since I've lived here. I ain't getting clean, that was good too. Been clean for the amount of time I've known you.
Most impactful positive thing is probably meeting Trann. Most impactful negative thing is probably meeting Trann. Yeah, the most impactful thing that's happened in a positive way, it's probably been how strong the community of people who actually care about each other here is together. You don't think of a high density, low supported living situation like this as having much friendly community, but we have a small group of people who love each other and really care about each other and want to support each other, and so that's definitely the positive out of it. And the negatives, the most impactful negative, I've recently started working at Corran Forest. The Mountain Patrol rescue officer there is a man that I went to university with doing paramedicine. I was talking to him the other day and he said, I haven't done CPR in at least 12 months on an active case. Now, he's currently a registered paramedic who works in the ACT as a paramedic constantly. And he hasn't done CPR on a patient for 12 months. And I was amazed. I said, mate, you've got to come and hang out at Watson, because I've done CPR in the last 3 months at least 3 times. So that's probably the most impactful negative thing, is that I'm waiting for the next person to die constantly.
What made you realise you didn't want to live here? How long have you been trying to leave?
Wanting to have a somewhat normal life with you and your mum was my breaking point. Up to that point, we enjoyed living here. We had rain over the place. We had the fun. We didn't have arseholes annoying us because they were too scared to. I used to have more respect than I do now, kiddo. So it was, getting clean Once I got clean and got with your mum, I think that was the breaking point that I wanted to move right or wrong, because when you're an addict, this is the best place to be an addict. You've got everything you want here, plus more.
We had a neighbour living above us named Steve. He doesn't live here anymore, but he comes and scores off the dealers. I didn't know he was a drug user when he was living above us, but his behaviour was unpredictable anyway, and so he wasn't someone that we tried to associate with. He was arm's length, but civil. When you had to walk in between him and me while I was gardening and pull me away from the conversation because he had me barricaded up against a wall, that was the moment I knew that I had to leave. When my 5-year-old child has to save me from a potentially threatening situation, because I was too intimidated and too worried about this man's unpredictability towards me as a vulnerable single female living in Watson Flats. It wasn't safe. I think that week I put in a transfer request. So 10 years I've been waiting for a transfer. 10 years I've been fighting to get out of here. 10 years I've been writing down police incident reports and calling for help. My last transfer request, the only thing I remember that I wrote in it at the very end was, please, please, please help me. This place is killing me.
Do you feel safe in your home? Why and why not?
I feel somewhat okay in my own house. Safe, I wouldn't say, no. That's only for the simple fact that I've got 3 females most of the time to think about as well that live here. Watson's a pretty shit hectic place sometimes. A lot of things, bad things do kick off. I always feel safe in my house. The safety of others, I can't guarantee. Whether I get hurt or not and come out the other side with a busted skull, I'm still safe, I'm still alive. If something happens to you, Mum or Tyler, I wouldn't be very happy about it. I make myself feel safe. I'm not afraid to go out and punch someone in the face or have a fight or have someone come run at me at a bar or run across the road to help a shop attendant who's an old lady because I know she's part of my family community. There's parts of Watson that I'll never feel safe when stuff kicks off. Like when guns are shot at the block behind us 17 times. That's a lot of bullets to be shot. If I heard that, I wouldn't have felt safe. I was lucky I slept through it.
I feel safe in my home. I don't feel safe in my community. I know that my house is safe. I have a big black dog. I've got scary dog privileges right here. I've got a partner who's known within the community to not put up with a lot of rubbish. So I feel safe in my home because I've made it feel that way. It's not safe, really. And I don't feel safe just being out in my community. Leaving my home, absolutely not. Walking out my front door just to go to the bus or my car, definitely not.
Is there anything else you would like to mention or talk about?
Yeah, Watson itself, it's a beautiful place. It's got everything you need. The shops are great. The people at the shops are awesome. They know me by name. They know you by name. It's a great community, even here at the Windia Flats. Like, it's Junkieville Central 2602. But, it's God is good. I've got some really close friends here that are both good and bad on the sides of the scale. But they're drug addicts and they do what they have to do. But this doesn't mean that they're not good people. But outside of Windia Court and Beckett Court across the road, that's even worse. Watson itself's a beautiful place. You've got the school, you've got the primary school, you've got Dixon College, everything right around you. You've got Dixon just down the road. Why wouldn't you want to live here? It's beautiful. And the only thing is they've got to knock half the derros out of here and clean it up a bit. And then it'll be a good place. Or put some money into the flats, make it a decent place to live in. I'd like a structural engineer to come through and have a look, because the cracks in our wall are bad enough, let alone the ones in Pete's wall that are through the bricks and that I can fit 2 50-cent pieces in there.
How I wish there was a little bit more awareness of what the community does to itself when it's not supported. We have politicians that sit across the road every election year at the shops talking about how they're going to do great for us and the things that they're building in Watson and all the schools that they're opening and the green spaces that they're looking at. And then they've got junkies sitting next to them begging for coins to get their next shot, to get their next drug deal. That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, a bit more awareness of what an unsupported community can do to itself is important.